Hey everybody, I have been waiting over 2 years for this to come. My first Kickstarter I've ever backed. I'm excited, a little bit nervous, so let's go ahead and dig in. I originally saw an ad for these dice about 2.5 years ago on Facebook. Spidermind Games was advertising a Kickstarter for their Dragon Eye dice, the Chromatic collection. And the Kickstarter launched, I think it was in August of 2021. The images that they showed enticed me enough to jump on and back my first ever Kickstarter project. Spidermind Games promised to have the agate stone eyes facing dead center on the highest value for each die by what they coined as a brand new creative process combining beauty and precision engineering. During the initial phases of the Kickstarter, you could pick how many sets and which colors and what cut you wanted. It would either be sharp or rounded edges, which they called regal or legendary. I decided to go with one set of each color in the rounded or legendary cut. Later on, Spidermind added an option to buy a set of the goddess die, which has in the eye itself colors of each of the chromatic dragons, which I decided to pick up. They also had some other add-ons that you could choose. I didn't choose to do. There was like sets of D6 and I think D20s or something like that you could buy. I decided not to grab any of those. You can see all the colors as I'm pulling them out of the box here. I wasn't really sure what to expect, as this was my first Kickstarter, and Spiderminds invited all of us to a Facebook group, which was supposed to provide updates throughout the entire process. To be honest, the updates were a little slow coming in, and many members in the group seemed to be upset with the lack of updates, especially as we got closer and closer to receiving our dice. There was also an initial round of shipping that went out about 6 months ago or so to about half the world, and the quality control on the dice from the manufacturer was very poor. People were posting pictures of their dice, and there were lots that were misshaped, cross-eyed, offset, all kinds of things, lots of yellow resin in some of the die. So Spiderminds decided that the remaining dice were going to go through a second set of quality control in the US. I think they were shipped into Oregon or something like that before they were shipped out to the rest of the backers. And they're being shipped in a couple of waves. I happen to be part of the first group of this second wave of dice. So let's take a look and see what we've got. I really like the packaging that they have shipped the dice in. We're going to be opening each box and taking a closer look at each box as well as each die so we can get a better view of each. Here is the Green Dragon set. Each set comes with a dragon egg and a dice bag to store your dice in, which is kind of a nice touch. Since I was a background Kickstarter, they also included a bonus goddess D20 for each set that I bought. The egg itself is made of like a rubber material. They seem pretty durable and solid. The dice bag is made of felt and seems sturdy enough. I'm not a huge dice bag guy, so I don't know that I'll use them, but nice touch for those of you who like it. Let's see, onto the dice. I really like the green color, but as you can see, not all of the eyes are dead center. The dots on this D6 seem to be offset as well. Spidermind Games does have a form you can fill out to replace your dice if they are not satisfactory. I believe they plan on replacing all those once the fulfillment for all the Kickstarters has been fulfilled. The stone is really off-centered on this one. Then on one of our D20s as well. The next is the Black Dragon set, which comes with a purple colored dragon egg, which is fine, I guess. It's not really black, but whatever, that's fine. And then we've got our extra D20 in the bag. So the resin color on these I'm not super happy with. You can see they're pretty yellow, and it's also not very dark and not very black. However, the stones on these seem to be mostly centered at a quick glance. We'll take a deeper look later. The red dragon set. For the eggs, it looks like they've added a black wash to the exterior of each of them, so they're not just a solid color, which is a nice touch. The reds on these isn't too bad. They might be a little yellowy and the eyes are a little off, but at quick glance again, doesn't seem to be terribly bad. Next, we've got the blue dragon set with the egg and bag. I absolutely love the color of these dice. The blue is very vibrant and is a great shade of blue. The stones also look really good at a quick glance on this set. And it looks, I mean, based on the others, it looks like this is my best set of the bunch. Next, we've got the white dragon set, which is the one that I was the most excited and nervous about, as I'd seen some very yellow dice in our Facebook group. Overall, the dice seem to be mostly clear. There is a little yellowing, but not as bad as some that I've seen photos of. I'm trying to show the D6 and D20s, as those seem to have the most issues on them online. Also, the D4s actually had some issues for some of the others. The white resin is a bit cloudy, and the surfaces seem to be a little bit scratched on these, which may be the result of the edge rounding process. Lastly, we've got the Goddess set, which is a fun add-on. The egg has a pearly color and the bag is the same as the white set, which is a little disappointing, but not a deal breaker for me. The D4 on this one is a little bit foggy, but overall I think I'm pretty happy with these, that they aren't super yellow. I saw some pretty yellow dye. Now let's take a look at each set and die in more detail. For the green set, I really like the color of the resin and the color of the green agate stone. Each agate stone is different for each of the die, which adds some variety, which is kind of fun. This seems to be my most problematic set, however. The D4 was offset, one of the D6 was shifted in the mold or something, like the dots are off, almost off the side of the die. The eye on the D12 is quite a bit off-centered as well as on the D8. I've got one D6, a D10, the percentile die, and the D20s. They're all decent though, so probably some replacements here. For the black dragon set, I'm mostly disappointed in the resin color. It's pretty yellow and it definitely doesn't look black or as dark as I would have liked. The color and the design of the eye, however, is fantastic. The D10 is really the only die on this where the eye is offset. The rest of them look pretty good, so other than the resin color, I'm pretty satisfied with these. The red dragon die look much more red than they do in this lighting in person, so I tried to get them true and less orangey, but this is the best I could get with the lighting I had and the camera I have. There is a slight bit of yellowing, which is probably causing the orange color we're seeing, but in person, it isn't nearly as orange. I have one D6, the D12, and the D20s that are slightly off-centered, but the other 5 dice look pretty good. Blue dragon set, and this is my favorite. I absolutely love the color of the resin and the eyes. The blue really stands out. The eyes in these dice all seem to be set pretty well. Had the other sets come in the same shape, I would have been absolutely thrilled. That being said, I did pay much less for all of these than the price at which they're going to be reselling, so take that into consideration as well. On to the white dragon set. These are also very, very slightly yellow. The D4 has some fogginess in the resin, which is hard to kind of see on camera here, and there's a little bit of surface scratches. The D12 is off slightly, which seemed to be a recurring theme, but the rest of the dice look good. On to the final set, the Goddess Dragon set. I really like the pearl color of the egg, which is also more smooth than the other dragon eggs. The resin color for most of these is decent. There are a couple that are yellowed, and the centering on these is good overall. Each set comes with a D4, 2 D6, a D8, a D12, and 2 D20s. I have 5 extra D20s of the Goddess dice because I was an early backer. A couple of things worth noting overall on dice. They are too dense to do a salt water test. They just sink to the bottom, but I doubt very much that these are balanced with the stones inside. I, however, will still be using these to play D&D, and I'm excited to do so. I think they look great overall. At the price I paid, I'm mostly satisfied with them. There are some that I'll be replacing, and I hope they tweak a few things before the dice go in live to the public. If you'd like some of these, you can pre-order them on Spidermind Games' website. I'll provide a link for that in the description below. If it were me, however, I would wait to pay full price until I've worked out some of the kinks. Thanks a ton for watching. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these types of videos in the future. Special thanks goes out to my patrons. We'll see you all in the next one.